Hello and welcome back to SRB Gaming. We got another episode of KSP today, and today we're going to be launching a larger base to the moon of Minmus around Kerbin. So as you can see in the video, I have it sped up. I am showing you the base, and it's in three parts. We have the center core with a fuel tank, a poodle engine for maneuvering and landing, and two main lander capsule with a docking port on top. On the sides, we have two equal modules, each one with storage for 4 Kerbals and a bunch of extra fuel, which will be funneled into the main poodle engine. We also have 6 total landing legs, some power supplies, and I do have a communication arrays for science. And then on the top, I actually have docked to it one of my, it's usually for low orbiters, and as you can see right there, and I am using KW Rocketry, but this, I wanted to put an orbiter on Minmus just in case. It's always good to have one, and the ordinary booster for that cannot get there on its own. So, as you can see in this video, right now I am plotting course for Minmus. And what I actually did was I had a maneuver node, and then I kind of screwed it up. So, halfway through the burn, I actually deleted the maneuver, but I realized it was kind of just burning program anyway, so I just went that direction, and got my Minmus encounter, and we'll see that soon. So, yeah, this is going to be a pretty short video. This is my first actual planned base. I mean, real base. I've had a lot of big landers sometimes, but most of my bases were technically just landers that ran out of fuel. This one could actually get back into orbit, as you'll see at the end of the video, and it was very successful. Didn't even have to quick load anything. So in the video right now, I'm just plotting course to Minmus. There's my burn. As you can see, my apoapse is rising pretty fast, although I do have this video sped up. And that's right there, and we get an encounter. So then I just warped along the path, as usual. Minmus encounters are pretty easy. And once we get an encounter, I will burn retrograde to circularize my orbit. And then I'll drop my periaps down to about 50,000 meters, and then when I get there, I will completely circularize my orbit for a stable orbit. And once we get to that point, I will detach the lander. The orbiter. The orbiter is my standard low orbit orbiter. It just has a KW Rocketry small lander engine with RCS tanks, some basic solar panels, batteries, a one-man lander pod, and it is manned right now. And as you can see, we have just achieved orbit. And there's me adjusting my periaps, and we get it. And then I warp to the other side for a circularization burn. And we will keep going. And there we go. Burn back down. So at this point, I am actually adjusting my periaps because it was a bit low and it was intersecting some of Minmus's high mountains. So right there, I am detaching the lander, and I'm going to switch to that and push it away from the ship and just rename it something really quick. And use the RCS jets to push it away. And yeah, this is capable of docking. So if we ever have a stranded mission in Minmus Orbit, I do have an orbiter now to save them. So this is the actual base. And it's got RCS tanks on the side, all the stuff you would need, radioisotope generators, and we're ready to land. So right here, I'm beginning the descent burn. So what I'm going to do first is actually warp to the other side of the orbit because I wanted to land in light. And my original plan was to land in one of the lakes, the sea level areas, but I decided to change and do a high altitude landing because my trajectories weren't lining up properly, but I did get into a fairly flat zone. It was a little bit inclined, but I ended up landing on one of the high plateaus, so this will be my plateau base. And like I said, this is one of my first big bases like this. I didn't show that. I should have shown the launch, but I didn't. The payload was 70 tons because I did include that orbiter. As you can see, it's orbiting right now, and we're actually beginning the descent. I'm adjusting my trajectory, and the actual rocket weighed about 810 tons. I had two Thor 2 SRB solid rocket boosters from KW, and then a giant 5-meter rocket with a Griffin engine that pushed me into orbit, and that was just enough to get into orbit before I could jettison the ascent stage, and we could get in. So as you can see, I'm dropping the altitude. Minmus's gravity is only about 0.4 meters per second squared, which is about a third of the moon's, or about 1/18th, 1/19th of Kerbin or Earth's gravity. It doesn't have a real world analog, so as you can see, I was going to land on a slope, so I'm adjusting my trajectory so that I go the other way, as it is fairly easy to slow down to a complete stop over Minmus, and I'm going to push it so I land on top of that plateau. Now, So there I'm going to slow down my velocity again. Now the Poodle engine is, I chose it because it was efficient and light, and that would create for better maneuvering, but I did not want it to, the issue is that the base is pretty heavy, so while the Poodle engine will give it a lot of delta V with its relatively high ISP, it does take a while to slow down, so I wasn't sure how long this would take, so I was going a bit conservative on this landing, slower than I usually would. And right now you can see I'm using the map to estimate where the cliffs are. I'm not using MechJeb, so I was not able to get a true altitude, and I am landing on the plateaus, so I cannot use the sea level. And there you go, we're doing a burn. I'm just going to slow my surface velocity down, and you can see the ship kind of flipped right there because I had the retrograde tracker on, but I have made sure to switch to surface mode by now, and I am now drifting down, and right before I get closer, I'm going to do another burn, bring myself down to about a constant 3 meters per second, and then right before I touch down, fast burn, and decelerate the ship to about 0.5 meters per second for a nice soft touchdown. And those 6 lander legs should be pretty good to absorb the landing. And I do have SAS on top for maneuvering. That has definitely helped. The ship is very stable. With the struts I added, it hasn't really been wobbling at all, even on the launch. And it does hold 10 Kerbals, this base. And there is a docking board on top. And there we go. That's the descent burn. And that will bring me to about 3 meters per second. Exactly. And that is slightly decreasing. But by the time I hit the ground, it was only down to about 2.7. And that's perfect. That's exactly what you want for a landing right at the end. Just slow you down, pretend like you have parachutes, but it's a rocket-assisted landing. And by this point, I don't know if I said this, but my fuel tanks on the side were actually empty. So I was just running on the main tank, but I don't want to jettison them because, of course, they're carrying valuable colony supplies like my power, SAS, more, like 8 Kerbals. And as you can see by the shadow, we are about to descend. And I'll do the final burn. There's the lights. And touchdown. And right when I hit, my ship was trying to track the retrograde marker, so I actually had a lot of... It almost flipped. It was really close. But I was able to catch that really quick. And then disable the SAS, and we did a nice fall. And we are down. Beautiful descent, and my first true Minmus base, and I am very happy with this launch and this landing. So I'm going to bring out the pilot. He's going to plant the flag on Minmus. He will be the first Kerbal on this save. I have been to Minmus plenty of times, just not on this save. And Minmus Base 1 has landed on the plateau. So he's going to run outside. Anyway, as you see, Casing, plant the flag, Casing Kerman, and document his success. Thank you for watching SRB Gaming. And we'll be doing more KSPS episodes soon, along with Minecraft, Rust, other ones. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe. Subscribers help our channel grow, and I could appreciate them. And if you have any concerns or questions, comment below. Thanks. See you next time.